Conversations with Nicole. Let's talk about it. Tell me all about it. I'm here. I wanna know what's on your mind. Ooh, the world needs to hear from you, and I'm so glad to have a conversation to reach the nation. And it's all about you. We'll help each other to discover innovative ways to positively change the world. Let's talk about, let's talk about, yeah. Let's talk about conversations with Nicole.
Greetings. Welcome to Conversations with Nicole. I am Nicole Everett, your host, and Conversations with Nicole is a talk show based in Tallahassee, Florida, focused on connecting the community through conversations. And today is what I call Mindset Monday, which is an opportunity for you, me, and my guests to chat about something interesting and intriguing. As you saw just now, our topic is clutter and trauma. I have Miss Sharice Styles, who is a life coach who I actually met on Instagram. Somebody sent me a link that she did on Clutter, and I was blown away. And so I reached out and she agreed to join me. So I'm super excited and delighted to have her with me tonight. But before I bring her on, I need to hear from you. Where are you tuning in from? We are live on Facebook, on YouTube, and on LinkedIn. And your comments and questions are very much so welcome. This is an interactive live, and we expect to hear from you. And this is a very important topic. It's something that I know many of us struggle with. And so, yes, bring your questions. So, like, share, tag a friend, and let them know they need to be on here. So, I know that I see a few folks on, but I know some more folks will be joining us. Okay, I see Go to God Nation podcast. Thank you for being here. Let us know where you're tuning in from. Go to God podcast. Put your city and state in the comments so we can give you a shout out. All right. So again, I know other folks will be joining us, but I'm gonna go ahead and share Sharice's bio. So Sharice Styles is the Style in Your Life coach for Christian women ready to get unstuck and step boldly into their God-given purpose. As a 6-time platinum songwriter turned faith-based life coach, Sharice helps style your faith, your image, your business, and your home so you can live life and life more abundantly through biblical truth, creative insight, and proven strategy. She brings clarity where there's confusion and confidence where there is doubt. Y'all help me welcome Miss Sharice Styles. Yay! Welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure. So I gotta ask my question that I ask all my guests. Who is Sharice Styles? Not what you do, but who are you in your own words?
I'm just a child of God. I'm just a woman. I'm a wife. I'm a mom, sister, a daughter, and I'm just a child of God. I am passionate about serving in every way, shape, or form. I have this idea that I'm going to leave this earth empty. So a
Yeah.
big part of me is just making sure that I serve and using all my gifts. And when I'm not serving, I would love to be on an island with my toes in the sand. And that is pretty much me in a nutshell.
That's right. A woman after my own heart. I love the beach as well. So yes, toes in the sand on the island sounds like my type of carrying on. So, well, again, thank you for being here. I'd like you to share just briefly kind of how you got into life coaching and specifically serving women around the issue of clutter.
So I started out many years ago doing image consulting. And after doing image consulting, I kind of branched into personal branding, kind of helping online female entrepreneurs. I've always worked with Christian women just because I was born and raised in the church, and biblical standards and beliefs is kind of what I've known my whole life. So it's easy for me to walk in that path. In doing so and working with a lot of women, I saw that, a lot of them had issues with clutter back when I was doing image, but I wasn't really fully aware of it being a major thing, just thinking it was a little messy.
Hmm.
Fast forward to, me stepping into life coaching, because I realized doing image and doing branding, I was constantly helping my clients to heal, kind of, okay, well, we got this strategy, we've been doing good in the business, but now you're slacking, you're falling back again. What's going on? Just seeing repetitive cycles, and kind of like, okay, always giving deeper advice. So when I felt led to more do life coaching, it allowed for me to encompass all of my gifts and all of my ways that I can help them, and not really lock me into a box.
Mhm.
And I worked with a client who had clutter, and in me sharing with my client about her clutter, or just kind of going through it, the Holy Spirit just downloaded and helped me get a little more clarity of, like, you've dealt with this before
Mm.
people in other ways,
Mhm.
and just seeing that light bulb go off of, like, this is deeper than stuff around the house,
Mhm.
overflowing closets, guest room packed. This
Mm.
is deeper stuff. And so it was just a divine download that the Holy Spirit helped me to connect, that clutter really comes from a place of loss. And
Mm.
when I backtracked and thought about all the other women I had worked with, there was so many examples of how they had first dealt with loss before
Mhm.
they had gotten into this place of clutter.
Wow. Amazing. Again, I cannot remember who sent me your video, but I was again blown away. And I just started watching them one after the other. And that one particular one that I believe they sent me was the one that kind of went viral. I mean, folks were sharing it on other pages, and was picking up a lot of momentum. And so I said, well, let me just reach out and see if she'd be willing to come on and talk to me, because this is, I feel like you are definitely onto something, and definitely setting the captives free, as we say in biblical terms. So I see a few more folks have joined us. I definitely want to acknowledge them. Marlene Mance, my girlfriend, thank you for being here. Miss Sonia B. Sonia B and I host women's events here in Tallahassee, and we actually had a declutter event that we did where women could bring stuff that they were seeking to let go of, but we could do a swap if there was something that you wanted, and then everything that was left over that nobody wanted, we gave to a shelter for women that experience domestic violence. And so we are all about the decluttering. We really are. So thank you for being here, Sonia. Tiffany is here. Thank you for being here. She's here in Tallahassee. Miss Keosha, who recently had a birthday, also here in Tallahassee. Thank you for being here. Alethea, thank you. She said, I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. She's here in Tallahassee as well. And Dreana is here. Tune in just in time. Yes, thank you, Dre. She's here in Tallahassee as well. So, clutter and trauma. We got to just dive right on in. So, I think just talk around, like, I mean, you just mentioned how this kept showing up in the lives of the clients that you were working with. But I recently did a broadcast. It's just I do a segment on a radio show, and actually it was today, I talked about internal and external clutter. And I feel like internal clutter external clutter is a reflection of the internal clutter that's going
Absolutely.
on. Okay.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with you. And I think that's why the Holy Spirit helped me to understand that it comes from loss. And I
Mm.
had never looked at it like that. And then when he showed it to me in that way, I very much got clear on how clutter is really the physical things, the piles, the clothes, the mail, the stuff,
Mm.
reflecting what is happening in your heart, in your
Mm.
mind, and in your spirit. So I always say there's four layers really to clutter, right?
Okay.
It's the physical stuff, it's the mental clutter, the
Mm.
emotional clutter, and the spiritual clutter. And
Okay.
so that physical clutter that shows up is only triggered by us suppressing or trying to press down that emotional and mental clutter or spiritual clutter that we might be dealing with, right? It's our It's our emotions, it's our heart, it's our thoughts screaming out, I am not okay. You know, what we've processed through, I mean, what we've experienced, we haven't processed through enough. And so, what I really realized, Nicole, which was mind blowing to me, just dealing with more and more women um that has, because since that video went viral, which I was not expecting.
Right.
I mean, over 1 million views on that
My
video.
goodness.
Yes, and that is only on one platform. And
Mhm.
like you said, you saw it on Instagram, and I was getting tagged by people's pages. I've never heard of them. I was like, well, thank you so much. How did you even
Right.
get this video? Is what I was thinking, really. But in working with, now it's been over 30 women
Mm.
on Clutter since August, I realized that so many of them were really going through things in life that they hadn't recognized, you
Mhm.
know, or really hadn't spent time to process, or acknowledge. And so the physical clutter started to show up because it became a cocoon. It became a
Mhm.
safety net for them, you know.
Mhm.
I even found, which was so interesting to me, is that a lot of them, not all, but a lot of them was able to keep their common places or spaces very clean and organized,
Mhm.
right? So that really spoke to me that you're not just lazy. You're not just messy. This ain't messiness. Because if you can keep the kitchen and the living room and the bathroom and all that stuff organized and clean and cute, but the bedroom is a hot mess and stuff is, and I sleep with piles of clothes everywhere, we're
Man,
dealing with something else, right?
you
That's
stepping all on
emotion.
my toes right now. I'm gonna just say that right now. You stepping all on my toes. That's why. So part of, so I had I had selfish motives in getting you on here too, because you have just described my life right there.
Yeah. So I know that that is other things. And that specific part, right, is safety.
Mm-hmm.
That is honestly what I've realized with some women. And this has been blowing my mind. Um, a lot of that tracks back to childhood, not having that safety in childhood, maybe
Mm-hmm.
not having that deeper connection with mom. And
Mm-hmm.
so the womb reflects, or the womb is a place of a cocoon, right? Where we get to grow and be nourished and be um, loved on, and safe. And so for a lot of people, when you didn't have that experience, or when childhood was taken away too quickly,
Mm-hmm.
for a lot of them, they really deal with bedroom clutter,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's trying to make that one little space where I'll sleep and I'll let down my guard and I'll take off my clothes and I'll take my wig off and I'll take off my pumps and my makeup and I could just be me. I need that cocoon. I need that safety net. And so the stuff has become like almost like a blanket of love and safety for a
Mm-hmm.
lot of women.
Wow. All right. So I got to pause right here. We have several folks that are chiming in. Janita has joined us. She said that physical clutter can show up as obesity too.
Mm,
Hmm.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you for that, Janita. Donda's here. Thank you for being here. Go to God Nation said physical clutter is suppressed emotional clutter. 100 agrees. All right.
Mhm.
Sharice, my girlfriend, is in Atlanta. Thank you for being here. Miss Jeanette in Miami Gardens. Thank you for being here. And my sister Shayla down in Miami as well. Thank you for being here. And Dre said, mine too. I hate washing clothes and putting them up.
Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah. So, talk to me around these different aspects. You mentioned physical, suppressing emotional clutter, spiritual clutter, but how does like emotional and spiritual clutter kind of show up outside of physical?
So the emotional and mental clutter can be, overwhelming thoughts. I remember doing one video that a lot of people related to, that was talking about those people that kind of talk over us, We
Mhm.
all have that friend or that family member that doesn't let you finish their sentences, or
Mhm.
your sentence rather. They just sprout out thoughts, and you're in the middle of saying something and they answer it before you can fully say it and everything. And people get annoyed by that person and thinking they just want to be heard, or they just need to be, always talking. But a lot of times that's an example of mental and emotional clutter.
Mm.
Those trailing of thoughts, something you said may have triggered something in them that reminds them of something. And
Mm.
now it's the conversation that's
Mhm.
affecting them in all kinds of ways. But as human beings, we're standing here, we're showed up, we're physically in this conversation, and I got to be present or act like I'm present. And
Mhm.
so, boom, I start blurting out things. Boom, things start slipping out because I'm trying to cut off that train of thoughts that is
Mhm.
unhealthy
Yeah.
and that we hide, right? Because if we actually start just saying what we're thinking, what will people think of us is what we think, right?
Mhm. So some fear of judgment is what I'm hearing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe some issues with worth or value.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And just unhealed trauma, unhealed things. I think that as a whole, if in any area of our life, right, even beyond clutter, if we don't heal the things that's hurt our heart and hurt us, we're
Mhm.
they're still there with us. Sometimes they're physically in our body, they're in
Mhm.
a file in our mental Rolodex. So those types of things that we don't take time to heal and process through and walk through, I always say to my clients, face it. And they're like, what does that look like? And I'm like, we've got to face it. We have to literally, okay, what is this trail of thoughts that
Mhm.
keeps on coming up and interrupting me when I'm ready to work on my projects, when I'm ready to clean up the clutter even, right? What are these trail of thoughts? Let's face it. Let's listen to them. What are
Mhm.
they saying? Let's write them down. Let's
Yes.
debunk them. And that's the other thing that I found that a lot of my clients have found out while we walk through that process is
Mhm.
that a lot of it is lies.
It's the stories we tell ourselves,
It's
right?
the stories we tell ourselves, or unfortunately, things that people have told us
Mhm.
that have stung us and stayed with us
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
become now a part of our identity as
Yeah.
we see ourselves, really.
Mhm. Yes, no, that's really good. All right. So I'm gonna get back to your question, Driana. I see Lisa has joined us. Lisa has a whole business platform entitled Declutter the Clutter. And so she is all about decluttering from all of the aspects that you have mentioned. And she's here in Tallahassee. Janita said, I have guilty. I have a cocoon room, so I'm not alone. That gives me some comfort.
Mhm.
Go to God Nation. Church hurt can be emotional clutter as well.
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes. That tracks back to that spiritual clutter, which,
Mhm.
like I say, they are all kind of, they're connected, right? They're connected because our mental clutter is what's showing up in our emotions. That's why we're having those outbursts.
Mhm.
That's why we're snapping off on people. That's why we're crying or breaking down in areas where we're like, what's wrong with me, right? So,
Mhm.
spiritual clutter is again just another form of clutter that church hurt, those things that we haven't processed, we haven't faced, we haven't let go of, um we haven't forgiven ourselves from, or forgiven the person from, because a lot of times, of course, we're not forgiving people for them, we're doing it for us to be able to let go and be able to process and live in our abundance and our joy.
Mhm.
So yeah, absolutely.
And go to God also said fear of facing yourself too, which I think you just kind of alluded to.
Yes,
That can be one of the biggest fears and can definitely keep us stagnant and at a place where if we're afraid of facing ourselves, it's going to be difficult for us to engage with other people as well.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. My sister Latanya in Atlanta area is here. And also Miss Sophia in Lawrenceville, Georgia. Thank you for being here. She says echoes. Yes, echoes of abuse, somebody said. Yes,
Hmm.
absolutely. Um, and Keisha here in Tallahassee just joined us. So Dre asks, what about closet clutter? Do you have
Yeah.
yeah.
So, So, there is, it's, as crazy as this might sound, I think there is healthy lines of clutter and unhealthy lines of clutter, right?
You have to break that down.
I know. It sounds crazy, right? So, clutter is never something that we want.
Mhm,
But some of us as women just have clutter because we have too much, too
mhm,
many things, right?
mhm.
Now, the reason why I say, like the Holy Spirit told me, that it's from loss, right? So, loss is also connected to lack. I
Mm,
lost the ability to have.
mhm,
Someone mentioned food and obesity. That comes into the reference point a lot of times of people that I've experienced kind of having that lack. When I was younger, my family didn't have enough money for food. And now that I have money for food, I'm going to have all the food I want.
mm,
Right. When I
mhm.
was younger, my mom and dad didn't have enough money to get me school outfits and look nice and have the things I wanted. So now that I'm old enough to actually purchase the things I want, I got 75 pairs of shoes. I
Right.
have no stopping point. I
Mhm,
got jeans going to bed, sizes I can fit and can't fit, right? So
mhm,
sometimes that can connect right to lack and not so much loss from a trauma or
mhm.
a emotional thing you've gone through, but just from a lack that you've experienced in your life, and now you have too much abundance of things.
Yeah.
Now,
No.
not and it's so interesting because that's why that word loss breaks down in so many avenues. We don't really think of loss connecting with lack, but
Mm,
it is,
mhm,
loss of a divorce, lack of love, lack of comfort, lack,
mhm,
so it's also connected. But
mhm.
most times when we have clutter, there is an underlying thing that we're not facing.
Mm. Wow, that's deep. Janita, she said, I have put things in the categories trash, donate, keep, and undecided, but I haven't taken action beyond that. I keep pulling from the donate to keep. How can I gain momentum?
You have to face it. You have to face the underlining issue. I have so
Mm,
many clients, and I've talked about this in so many videos of how, a lot of people are like, oh, girl, you got money, just hire a maid. You
mm,
can, and she gonna come in, she gonna make it real cute, but within weeks you're gonna have it all the way back like that. Why?
mm,
Because it's screaming out something else, right?
mm,
I have so many people who go through the cleaning process, go through the organizing process, go through the donate piles, and then they can't get beyond that. And that's because it's not about that, it's something else. And it almost sounds like, what is this lady talking about? But I promise, I've walked so many women through this process now. I'm so confident in it that
yeah.
if it's something that's reoccurring, and if it's something that has become a norm, it's
Mhm,
because there's something we haven't faced or we haven't healed from.
yeah. Whew. So what are some of the I know you're kind of talking about it now, but what are some of the challenges that the women that you serve face as it relates to the clutter? I mean, I think on the extreme end, we think about maybe the show Hoarders, right? Where
Yeah.
folks are almost burying themselves alive in their living spaces, and the people can barely take up space in their homes because the things have taken up all of the space, right?
Mhm.
So, what are some of the more common things that you are that the women you serve are challenged with?
So the everyday woman is typically hiding. Out in the world, she looks fabulous. She's put together. She looks amazing, but you
Mm,
have no idea that there's clutter everywhere in her home, in her
mm,
closet, in her bedroom. There's stuff everywhere. And it's typically because, she doesn't realize that those things, see, that she's made normal is actually hindering her from completely being focused at work, completely being focused in her business or her life goals.
wow.
Um, for a lot of people, I have had so many clients who are socialites. They love having events, they love having people over, they love having dinner parties and things like that, and they haven't in years because now the clutter's taken over and they don't
Mm,
want anybody to come into their house because they can put themselves together and look fabulous and step out into a party, into an event out there in the world. But if you come into here, you're going to know all my secrets. So
mhm,
it's keeping them really, away from social events, just socializing, just being able to entertain. A lot of them are not even sleeping peacefully because, like I said, so many women sleep with stuff in their bed. Now,
mm,
I've had some clients who, they've lost their husband. And so sleeping with a bunch of things in the bed almost represents him. It almost takes
I
up
see.
that missing space, right?
Mhm.
But for some, it's just I've been unfortunately molested or touched in some type of way, or there's been some type of,
Mhm.
again, trauma. So I need that cocoon, I need that safety, and having stuff all around me in the bed makes me feel safe.
Wow.
So it's really things that, like I said, has become a norm. And it wasn't until me just getting on the video and being bold enough to say some of the things without telling anybody's business, just some of the
Mhm.
things that I have heard and experienced with clients, that
Right.
so many people have been like, oh my God, I've been dealing with this for like 15, 20 years. I didn't even recognize it as a thing, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm. All right. So Dre said, "Ooh, you made me realize closet clutter could also mean that I have too much on my mind. So like overload too."
Absolutely. So that is, you've hit it, Dre. I was gonna talk about that, like high achieving women. A lot of high achieving women deal with
Mhm.
clutter. And a lot of high achieving women deal with clutter because of the consistent train of thoughts, right?
Mm.
Especially us as women. We're mothers, we're wives, and then we have the businesses, and then we have the teams we're running at work or whatever. So we have that deadline we're thinking about. We have to make sure we have this in order. What are we making for dinner? Is the laundry out? Did I get the dry cleaning? That running consistent train of thought and to-do list
Woo.
um, creates a lot of clutter for us because it's so overwhelming and the list is so long that we
Mhm.
don't even know where to begin. And a lot of times we then just don't stop, just like the person with the physical clutter. We just don't even start because the list is so long, we don't even start. But then that tracks back to us feeling guilty, feeling
Mhm.
unworthy, feeling
Mhm.
ashamed, feeling
Mhm.
like, we'll never be that boss babe we desire to be. We'll
Mhm.
never be this $1 million queen we say we want to be. Like it starts that train of thought starts.
Wow, 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 wow. I want to acknowledge Miss Joyful Place, who is here in Tallahassee. Thank you for joining us. And Dre said, yes, you hit it. Whew, I'm getting hot just thinking about all of that because, boy, I'm telling you, that is me all day long. I'm telling you right now. I
Yeah.
am. Whew. So, is there any hope for us?
No, you're doomed. No, yeah,
Whew.
especially with the high achieving woman. I think
Mm,
that with the high achieving woman, if you know it doesn't track back to a trauma and things like that, and I'll be honest, for some of them, they're high achieving because it does track back to a lack or not having and refusing to never not have again. So you work like a workhorse and make sure that that's happening, right?
yeah.
But I think that really it just becomes a mastering of the mind,
Mhm.
which is a series I'm kind of stepping into more and more now on social media, is talking
Okay.
about mastering our thoughts and mastering our mind. Because leading out of the clutter, where I'm leaving off with a lot of those women, is now mastering our emotions, mastering our thoughts, right? And being more in control of that. So having lists. If you have to have 17 different little books that you carry, let's go. Let's get a book for the business. Let's get a little organizer that's just for the business. Let's get a little organizer that's just for the house. Let's get a little organizer, right? There you go. See? And then one of the other things, Nicole, I think that is super important for us is a day of rest. I urge my clients to have a day of rest.
When can I rest?
I know, especially us high
Mm,
achieving women, because you know, you don't want to, at the end of your life, right? Just envision this. Envision this. This is a typical life coaching session with me and one of my clients. Envision this moment, right? We are 99 years old because we all go live a long and prosperous and
right,
fruitful life.
right.
So
Mhm.
we're 99 years old. We're laying in what doctors are saying is our end time. And when are you going to remember every detail of every event you went to, you hosted, you did perfect, the balloons were nice, the flowers were nice, you're not,
Right,
right? You're
right.
going to remember those bigger moments. You're going to remember those cherished moments. You're going to remember those life-changing moments. So we got to learn, especially as high achieving women, how to say no a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
We have to know that not every event is an event we have to be present at.
Whew.
Send a donation, send flowers. you know, at the end of the day, the host might not be wanting to tell you, but they appreciate that donation a little more than you even walking through the door because that done helped out some ways. We just have to have more time for us. So that day of rest is a non-negotiable for me now.
Nice.
And it's not to say I don't do anything, you know what I mean? But it is just, I acknowledge it as my day of rest. So the stuff I'm doing is not, work related in that workhorse kind of mandatory, gotta do it kind of way. It's more of the joys of life.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. All right. So listen, we are at about halfway through our conversation. For those of you who are just tuning in, I am on with Sharice Styles, life coach based in Virginia. We're talking clutter and trauma. I feel like she's the clutter guru, especially for us women, us high achieving women, us women, period. But we have several comments. So Dre putting things on the calendar. Yes, I listen, if it's not on my calendar, it's not happening. I'm telling you. My mom is on down in Miami. She said, Mom is on and learning. Thank you, Mom. Appreciate you being here. Alethea Rest. What now? What's that? And she's looking side-eye and laughing. Right. Dre, she said, now I'm good at resting. LOL. I will choose home and a couch any day. My phone is on do not disturb after 8:30 p.m. every day, except for tonight. Yes. Thank you, Dre. All right. Marlene, she said, the older women in my family make you feel guilty about rest. Ooh. If you say you're resting, they ask if everything is clean or washed and have you cooked. That judgment is real.
Yes.
Listen.
Yes.
Wow. That's real though. Alethea, a non-negotiable day of rest. Woo, child. Yes. I know. I feel you. But we got to make it happen, Alethea. We got to. Lisa, she said this is so real. And yes, go to God Nation, putting you on the calendar too.
That's exactly what the day of rest really looks like, right? So it's not for me anyway, personally, and what I kind of urge clients to do is because when we are high achieving, we are moving and shaking. And we honestly, we can get bored fast because we're so used to going, right?
Yes.
So that day of rest just looks like time for you, spending time with your family, spending time cooking, spending time baking with the kids, or doing those activities that you typically wouldn't do throughout that work week process, right? So it's more of that reflective day. And honestly, I use that day too to lay out my calendars, my not now lists is what I call them. Not now, but maybe I can get to a Tuesday. This is still stuff I got to do. Because, a lot of times when we rest, our mind has time to breathe and declutter, and beautiful ideas come.
Yes.
I call them spiritual downloads. It's because the Holy Spirit's like, girl, I've been trying to tell you for 2 weeks how to get that thing done. You keep on praying about, but you've been so loud and busy and noisy in here, so that time of reflecting. So I love it because I keep a pen and pad right on my nightstand because when I'm hanging out, chilling in my bedroom, having my downtime, my kids are usually with me on my day of rest. They like to come and get on my bed and watch TV with me or in and out the room. I keep a notebook and I just put my not now stuff down.
Nice. I love that. I'm definitely writing that down, the not now list. You know what? I find that those spiritual downloads that you are referring to, I get those in the shower, amazingly enough.
Me too. Yes. Yes. Those are big for me. Yvonne can tell you, go to God Nation. Her name is Yvonne. Go to God Nation's her podcast. She's a sister in Christ that I've known for years. And she will tell you that is usually what I say is that I was in the shower and I got a download from the Holy Spirit.
Wow.
I feel like it's because, it's that time of cleaning and cleansing ourselves. I don't know. It's just for
Yeah.
me a big time.
I feel that too. I do. Kiosha, she said, I've implemented a non-negotiable day of rest and it has been a game changer for me. I no longer feel guilty or like I'm missing something. Good stuff. Thank you for sharing that, Kiosha.
Yes.
Listen, Kiosha was on the show, gosh, I guess it's been about 2 years ago now, but she like decluttered her space. Like she had a lot of things, and this was like kind of during COVID, but she had a lot of things that she had accumulated that she didn't even really know she had accumulated. And she like sold the stuff
Yes.
and raised enough money to do like some renovations to her home.
Wow.
Right.
Amazing.
But she also applied this to her body and she lost a lot of weight through intermittent fasting and working out and diet and that sort of thing. And so, I mean, you talk about a transformation. So, Kiosha has definitely shown how, determination and that mindset, right? You talked about,
Mhm.
basically
Absolutely.
it's a made up mind, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's the word mindset is telling you everything you know. What
Mm,
is your mind set on?
mhm.
Because we set it just like a clock, right? So if
Yes.
it is not set on your goals, you're not going to get to them. If it
Mm,
is not set on your day of rest, then you won't have a day of rest and it'll feel bad. And for my sister who said about the older generations, we have to love them enough to know that their generations were different. And
they
so
were.
they had to operate different, right?
Mhm,
They might not get that because for their generation, they may not see where we are, but
mm,
we are in a different day and time, and we don't have to live in that way in this generation. It's not serving us.
absolutely. Let's see. Alethea, I like that. Put in a day of rest on my calendar and a not now calendar. I really like not now list rather. Yes, absolutely. And Sophia, rest is sacred. Surrender to the truth of what is and who you are. Oh, I like that a
Yes,
lot. Yes.
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, yes, yes. Dre said, I like mental health vacations too. Sometimes you need to change the environment.
Yes.
Yes.
God knows.
I
Yes.
definitely find that to be beneficial. It's just, I don't know, it's something about getting away and not being in my normal pattern of doing things that
Absolutely.
is refreshing for me. And when I come back, I feel very renewed. So,
Absolutely. I totally agree. It's so necessary. I try to do it a couple of times a year. And
mm,
I also try to encourage people that I believe no matter where your budget is, maybe
mm,
you're not always flying out to Cancun,
right.
but you can still, switch things up, do a
Mm,
staycation, or do new activities in your town. There's so many options, but I think switching up the monotony is very important.
absolutely. Agreed, agreed, agreed. All right. Let's see. Go to God. Lack of rest is a form of enslaving yourself too. Mm. Listen, rest, sleep, it can be very detrimental to your health.
Mhm.
I've
Mhm.
done a few shows on not sleeping on sleep, so agree wholeheartedly in terms of some of the things that a lack of rest can do. Felicia Dilbert, thank you for being here. She said this conversation is so yummy. Thank you both. You are so welcome.
Love that, Felicia.
Yes. And Sophia, she said, I like staycations, different space without the money. Yes, 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 yes. Agreed. Tiffany just joined us. Thank you for being here, Tiffany. Talking about clutter and trauma and all of the things. Listen, solutions thus far are the not now list. uh, and also checking out God's Nation podcast.
Awesome. Yeah. God's Nation podcast. That's Yvonne. She's
Okay.
the Go to God Nation.
Go to God Nation.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, gotcha. And then mindset. What is your mindset on? So we got to shift that mindset, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Shift your mindset onto the things that work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Heal all of the things that you've experienced. That's a part. I think too, this clutter series is really helping me to understand and help women, I hope, understand that your clutter is speaking to you. What is it
Mhm,
saying? Listen to it, don't ignore it, right?
mhm.
A lot of those women who get the cleaning people to come in, or even take the time, for them and their girlfriends might come over, family member might come over, help them clean, and then within 2-3 months the house is cluttered again, and then they feel really guilty. How did this happen? How am I here again? What is going on? It's because it is a pattern from those emotional things that are your heart is saying. And
Mm.
when we don't heal those things, face those things, and take a minute to digest them and process through them and heal them, it's going to come back. It's going to come back.
So you have really said something there. Listen to what your clutter is saying. I think sometimes we can be so emotionally attached to these things. And whatever it represents to us at the time we bought it or when we wear it or what have you. Now, I'm not saying you should, of course, get rid of everything, but sometimes we got to just let stuff go. Like that
Mhm.
served its purpose during that time, that season, and now it's time to move on, right?
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Absolutely. And a lot of times, too, we want to believe that our clutter is nice, beautiful, things, right? Because it sounds nice. So you're like, let go of all the sweaters you have. No, usually, honestly, it could be a box that's empty. You done took the scale out of that box. That box is still sitting there. It's been 4 years. That box is sitting there. You know? So it's like things like that that's screaming or telling you something else is going on.
Mhm. Indeed, indeed, indeed. All right. Sophia, she said, thank you for the practical solutions. Maybe put your ninja on your not now list, ma'am. Go good night. I'm not fooling with you, Sophia. Lisa, she said, my not now starts tonight and all day tomorrow. So Lisa, I'm so glad you mentioned that because many of us are off tomorrow because of the holiday. So if you are not working tomorrow or don't have any plans, yes, definitely start that not now list. Definitely start that decluttering and make your mind up. What's your mindset about it? Again, uh,
Mhm.
make your mind up that you're going to the things that are giveaway, you're gonna get them out the house tomorrow. Okay. Take them to the shelter, take them to the Goodwill or the thrift store or whatever. Some organization, the church that has a closed closet, some organization or some person that might need those things, right?
Absolutely.
All right.
Absolutely. You're hindering some people who need to be blessed with those things that's just sitting there, you know?
Absolutely, absolutely. All right. Tiffany did a release ceremony on Halloween, also took opportunity to release some actual things as well, working to let go of the trauma that also clutters the mind. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nicole, just to speak back a little bit to the spiritual clutter, one of the things that I've been sharing with women about regarding spiritual clutter is that stuff really hinders us spiritually and we don't know
Mm,
because we are being human beings, we are energy beings,
yes,
right?
yes.
Created in God's image, we are beings, but we are spirit beings first. And
Mhm,
so
mhm,
spiritually, there's a flow of
mhm,
energy. And
mhm,
so even like talking about those downloads that we receive from the Holy Spirit, right? That usually can catapult our lives, take us in a whole nother direction, right?
mhm,
Those things come from a flow of energy, us having that. So I like to give the example of the vacuum cleaner.
mm,
People think they're not affected spiritually, but it's similar to a vacuum cleaner. When
mhm,
the vacuum cleaner, you could buy the most expensive vacuum cleaner they got out here, right? Spend all the money, go to Bird Offs, go off.
mhm,
And if that expensive vacuum cleaner, whether it's the expensive one or the one you got from Walmart, if it's clogged, it is not going to be able to have that full force of flow because there is a clog there. There is something blocking that energy flow.
yes,
So
ma'am.
spiritually, we don't realize how blocked we can be
Mhm,
by
mhm.
stuff. Stuff takes up space and it takes up a free flowing energy. And
Yes.
spiritually, the Holy Spirit has to flow. He flows. He flows through us. He flows out of us, right? If we lay hands on somebody, it is not us that's healing them, but it's the flow through us. But if
Yeah.
there's spiritual blockage, that flow is not happening, just like that vacuum cleaner having a blockage.
My Lord. Yes, that's a very practical example. Indeed, indeed. All right. Sophia said, make your bed up. I do try to do that every day, is make my bed
Yes.
up. Yes. Pamelia just joined us. She said, just shut your eyes and do it. Talk about getting some rest and going to sleep. Yes. And Dr. K, who's here in Tallahassee, she said, oh, I'm already tapped in. Started my pal already. Love it. All right. Ka to 2021. Hello. Thank you for joining us. Leslie is tuning in from Tennessee. She said, my new house is empty. I have just enjoyed being alone without clutter, which I don't like anyway. I'm taking my time to put my stuff in. It's still in Florida. Yes, take your time, and it doesn't have to be filled up. You do a good job with that anyway, Leslie. So you are good. All right. Sophia, get rid of the noise and tune into God's frequency. Love that.
Yes.
Yes, Tiffany said, come on, Miss Sharice. All right, Kendra, she said, I use clogged drains with my students. We come to realize that we don't like stagnant waters. So we work on unclogging our mental drains.
I
Love
love that. Love that.
Indeed. And we got Jamil Nicole Peterson, who is a clinician here in Tallahassee. She said the vacuum is a great analogy. Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here, Jamil. Woo, all right. So there is some hope for us.
Absolutely.
Good. Yeah, she said clutter is a barrier to increase.
Absolutely, 100%. I'm always talking to my high achieving women about that, right? Those cluttered thoughts, whether we have emotional clutter. And I learned that again from other things I was able to do, being in branding, helping people with that personal brand. I realized like we can come through strategies like making great money by doing these steps. Why do you keep getting stuck not doing the steps when you have seen that it brings in profit? But then I realized that it is those deeper things. So I think a lot of times we think, oh, if we've done it once, we could do it again or not. Right? Because if that emotional clutter, mental clutter, things start to hinder you, those things that are unhealed start to hinder you, it's going to leave some money on the table.
Yeah, no, it absolutely is. So Janita said, I need to focus to stay with my pile. I start, then my mind goes to something else so random. I will start reading a book, go outside, etc. So I am guilty offender number one of that one as well. I feel like, and sometimes I get so frustrated with myself because I will start doing something and I'm so easily distracted and will go over here and do something else. And then it's like, what was I doing over there? So any suggestions or recommendations in terms of focus?
Yes. So since this video has gone viral in August, I've had a lot of therapists, my therapist sisters, come to me and say, in their training, they learned that clutter can really come from ADHD or OCD, right? And I've shared that the Holy Spirit told me it's loss. So even if you have ADHD or OCD, it is typically the loss and the thing you're not trying to face that's causing you to detach. You begin to do it, but then emotions come up, thoughts come up. I don't want to let this go because of this. I'm not ready to make a decision on what should stay, what should go. It becomes too much. It becomes frantic. And it's become such a pattern that our mind can start to protect us before we even get to that point. It knows we're getting in that vein or that flow of thoughts that's going to trail and take us there. And so it'd be like, on to this. Let's go look at the flowers. Let's go get some donuts. Let's go.
Look, Sophia said I call it the squirrel mind. And I have not labeled it as such, but that's exactly what it feels like.
Yeah, absolutely. So in those instances, what I have shared with a lot of my clients, one of the things we do on our decluttering fast track, the fast track to decluttering, we take only 15, 20 minutes a day. So we focus on a specific area, right? Because once we've dealt with those emotional things and we've dealt with those mental things and things like that that cause the clutter, now we have tools to stay focused, right? Because we've processed that. So when those thoughts come back up and I'm focused on an area, I know how to now face it, process it, deal with it, right? For those who are dealing with the deeper levels of the trauma regarding clutter. For those of us who are just high achieving women who might get unfocused because now we have so much to do because we constantly have so much to do. We have so much to do because we got so much to do.
Exactly.
It's going to take, honestly, that focus of I'm getting this pile done today. When I have my 15, 20 minutes that I handle it, I'm getting it done. And if it takes me from Monday to Friday to get this whole section in this room done, that's my goal this week.
Okay.
You know?
Goals. So set a timer, 15, 20 minutes, work as much as you can, and then stop.
And then stop. Yep. You don't let yourself get burnt out. You don't let yourself get overwhelmed. And once you set that timer, if that timer hasn't going off, if you have 7 thoughts about 7 other things, the only thing you can do is put that on your not now list, but you won't get this pile done now.
I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Tiffany said, yes, letting go makes room for better. Set the intention to do so. Glad to know I'm not the only one getting distracted. All us, listen, I'm glad that you all are comfortable enough to publicly admit this, but it's also comforting to know that we are not alone. There are many of us out here, right?
So true.
Leslie, take one day at a time. It didn't get there in one day. Absolutely. This is very true. It's time to accumulate this stuff, right?
And for most people who go crazy with it and just clean it up in a weekend, it typically comes right back.
Okay. Because their mindset, like we gotta focus, we gotta set that intention and, yes, be transformed by the renewal of these minds.
Without the transformation, right? You go right back to the old habits and the old patterns. And so it all comes right back. But with the renewing of the mind and the being transformed into your new way of thinking and behaving and doing, it doesn't come back.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. Sophia said, Pomodoro app is a tool I use to help with setting a timer and taking a break. Okay.
Nice.
We'll add that on as a tool that we can potentially use. Thank you for sharing that. All right. And Kendra, right. Transformation, establish new systems. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. Kiosha, we have to focus and create systems too. Absolutely. We do. I think that is it. It's the creating the systems, right?
Yes, absolutely.
One of my good friends, and I don't think this is his original, but he says system stands for saving yourself some time, energy, and money.
Nice. Nice. And that is so true.
It is. It is. It is. So now we didn't even talk about your book, but I want to give opportunity for you to share about your book.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I have a decluttering ebook that I created. Why? Because so many people have been, having the need, and not everybody wants to jump right into working with me one-on-one. So I do have an ebook about decluttering. It's called Conquering the Clutter. And it is healing the loss that caused the mess. So with that ebook, I've tried to break down all that I can from the videos. I've tried to gather all of the things I've shared from the videos and walk you through. So no matter what point of clutter you might be dealing with, it's going to walk you through that process. And then, alongside it, I've given a 30-day decluttering calendar. And again, I've stressed in the book about taking that 10 to 15, no more than 20 minutes to work on little sections and little pieces. And each day, I love that my clients have been saying the calendar's been really good for them because it's, again, giving you those sections. So little things we might not think about as women. They enjoy the Today, take 10 to 15 minutes to clean out your purse.
Mm.
Let's just get that organized, right? Because we're like that transformation, right? So we're learning that in all areas of our house, not just our kitchen and our living room and our closet, but just in all areas of our lives. And
Yeah.
so everywhere we're learning how to live decluttered.
Absolutely, absolutely. So this is a good one. Pamelia said, I noticed the clutter on my laptop. Working on 2 and 3 major products, I will have 100 windows open indefinitely. So any tips or things that you could tell us about the electronic or digital clutter? Because boy, that seems to suck up a lot of time trying to manage all of that, and what to get rid of, what to keep, all of that sort of thing. So do your clients struggle with emails, especially? Listen.
Yeah, I was going to say emails is typically the big one. Yes. So I do, again, that is a part of the 30-day plan. And the good thing about that is that they get to keep it. So depending on, how they're working with me, if they're doing the fast track, they have a personalized plan. So I'm dealing with more of their particular situations. But with the ebook, you do get that 30-day calendar. And on that is, your day for your emails. And then once we do that big plunge of all those things, we get rid of all that stuff. Now we go from having 5,000 emails to now we've down on our list. You're weekly, you're having your day of rest, and then you have your day of reset.
Gotcha.
So your reset day is when you are resetting things like that, so it doesn't get back to hundreds of emails, right? Because once a week you take that day to go through, clean out, get back down to 0.
Wow. Kendra said, I wish I had 5,000 emails. And Tiffany said, baby, them tabs be about to drive me crazy. I can't do it.
Yes, you have to close them. You have to, because we don't understand. We were talking about rest earlier. You don't know how much that those tabs, although they're physical tabs on your laptop, those things stay open as tabs in your brain. It could be 2, 3, and I know y'all will understand what I'm saying. It could be 2, 3 in the morning. You do a rollover. You got to go to the bathroom, and 3 tabs come back to your mind.
Oh, man. Get out of my life.
Yes, I know. I live it. I've lived these things, and I've lived through them and learned how do it's got to be a better way.
Got to be a better way. Yes. All right. Lisa said, yes, I'm publishing Declutter the Clutter workbook next month. Love it.
Love
Can't
that.
wait. Yeah. Yes. Sophia, reflection of the mind, sometimes genius and sometimes madness. Ooh, yes. Ain't that the truth?
Yes.
And Tiffany, she said, yes, same with the emails. Woo, can't stand it. Listen.
Yes. And journal, a part of the decluttering workbook. Even I've released over the summer a big faith journal. I am so big on journals, y'all. So big on journals. So no matter where we are in our lives, we need to journal. Even if your journal is just going to the Dollar Tree, and I know it ain't a dollar no more, but get you 1 or 2 notebooks and be able to just process through those different areas in your life. You picked up a new project, get you a notebook. So when those thoughts come, they're not overwhelming thoughts. They are tracked. It's all about bringing organization and getting back control, getting the reins of our mental clutter.
All right. Some folks are talking about these tabs still. Oh my gosh. All right. So they asking about this video. Do you have the capability of pulling it up and us sharing it? The video that went viral. Can you pull it up on your laptop or no?
The original video? No.
No, or on IG or TikTok? Or is that all
It is on TikTok. I'm wondering how I can get it to you right now, though.
okay?
Let me see. Let's
All
get
right.
into it.
Yeah,
That's why
see,
we have multiple devices, right?
that's why. That's exactly why.
Let me turn all my volume down so we don't have a big outburst from the TikTok world.
Right.
So on TikTok, we got 855.5 thousand views.
Wow.
42.8 shares, 35.3 saves. That was crazy to me. How many people saved it? Because that means I need to come back and hear this again because that's how much I'm dealing with it.
Mm-hmm. I got you. Leslie, what did you put in the chat? What is that YouTube video? Let me know. Shanita said, I don't need to purchase another notebook. I have a clutter of them, girl. Oh, I understand. I have some too. I kind of catalog them by year.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So listen, y'all, I'm gonna pull up the video, not now, but I'll put it in my probably on my the real Nicole Everett Instagram and conversations with Nicole Facebook so y'all can see it. But we getting to the point where it's time for closing remarks, and you're gonna get her social media anyway, so you can look at all of the videos. All right. So if you will, Sharice, give us some closing remarks and tell the folks how they can connect with you.
Well, thank you for even listening to me and hearing my point of view. I am grateful beyond measure for that. But
Absolutely.
I am a life coach for Christian women. I help in all ways, even, clutter included, but more than just clutter, anywhere that you feel stuck and that's kind of hindering you from getting to that next level. So that's what I truly love to do, is help my sisters to get to the abundant place in life that God has for them. You can visit me on TikTok. Is probably my biggest audience right now. So it's at Sharice Styles Life on TikTok. And my website is ShariceStyles.life.
All right, very good. So definitely follow her, connect with her. And since you're life coach, you're not relegated to any particular state. You can serve women all over the world, right?
All over the world. And it's always shocking me. I'm like, okay, you're in the UK. Okay, you're in Brazil. So yes, all over the world.
Nice, nice. I love that. So definitely check her out. Check out her books. Books can be purchased on your website
On
or
my website. Yes, ma'am.
okay. Wonderful,
Or
wonderful.
in the links on any of the social media platforms as well.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. So Leslie said she had a video from September that I'm going to watch. Okay, nice. Kendra, I was going to hire someone to declutter my garage, but I'm about to buy your book and get to work. Love it.
That's it. That's it. Because that when you do the work, you'll make sure it don't come back.
Mhm. Absolutely. Sophia, I'm a journal collector. Okay, nice. All right, very good. So like I said, I will post the video later, a little later, after I get off the live. But thank you so much for your time, for your expertise, for sharing with us. Definitely gave us a lot of gems, a lot of nuggets that we can put into effect today, tomorrow. Yes. For the rest of the week, for the rest of the year.
Yay.
We don't have to go into next year cluttered, right? We can do the work, be healed, overcome the loss, overcome the lack, and live a clutter-free life, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Mhm, mhm, indeed. So I hope you all have benefited from this conversation. If so, let us know in the comments. And I definitely want to encourage us to keep this conversation going and not just talk about it, but also be about it, right? I love a good conversation, but I also love some action after that. So I want to hear from you all, maybe next week or the week after, how your declutter journey is going, how it's going. What's your mindset about it? And are you,
Mhm.
this is a good momentum builder, this conversation. So we definitely want to see how you all are moving along. Are those bags of clothes getting up out of your house? Are those, emails getting deleted or categorized or what have you? Are we journaling? Are we doing that not now list? Okay. Are we scheduling time for ourselves, right? Unapologetically. So I want to encourage us. I want to encourage us. So we're getting lots of comments. Sophia, wonderful discussion. Lisa, the workbook is for my journey of journaling. This has really encouraged me to finish what I started a year ago.
Yay.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Lisa. We
Love
appreciate
that.
you sharing. My sister Shayla, great discussion, very insightful. Thank you, Shay. Janita, Great discussion. Leslie, thank you. This was great. Yes, Sophia, tell them like and share, like and share. Kendra, I was hanging up clothes while listening. Yes, love it.
Love that.
Love it, Mom. Great subject and information. Appreciate y'all also. Again, and lastly, for those who may be new to the platform, I invite you to subscribe to Conversations with Nicole. We're here Mondays and Wednesdays, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, focus on primarily mental health and wellness, especially in Black and Brown communities. All right, Tiffany, thank you, thank you, thank you. Jamil, this was an excellent discussion. And Sophia, great idea. Fold laundry while watching Conversations with. Listen, I tell people all the time, treat it like a podcast because we just talking. Donda, great show tonight. Thank you, Donda. All right, y'all have a great rest of the evening. Great day off. If you're off, start that decluttering. And I'll see y'all next time. Bye.
Bye. Nice to meet you all.